Our next victim. This belongs to the same guy I did the telly for. And what have we here? This is a Squire, made in Japan, Stratocaster. And it's a little bit of a different one. It was made in about 92 or 93. And it's been refinished. But this is kind of a special one. Party on, Garth. Now, I don't know if the light's going to pick this up or not. You can see some scratches in here. You can see some wear marks in here. And we were wondering where it came from. And it looks like about a picking angle. And we have one of these. A metal pick. So those scratches are from somebody having a lot of fun on their Stratocaster. So this doesn't need much, just a bit of a cleaning up and some new strings. And these were all in white. The only way you could get them was in white. This one's been refinished. And I know what the finish is because the guy who refinished it gave me the can. So maybe we'll tune those scratches up a bit. The body is basswood on these. And they were made at the Fujigen factory in Japan. 7 1/4 inch radius neck. So we're going to get this and give it a clean up. He's pretty happy with the way it plays. So probably doesn't need too much in the way of setup. And we're going to clean it up and put new strings on it. Oh, the other modification with the loaded pick guard. Again, hot rails. That's the guy's favorite pickups. And by the wear on it, he's been having all kinds of fun with it. Okay, let's get into this thing. Check it out and set it up and get some new strings on it and clean some of the gunk off of it. Oh, the strings we're using, D'Addario NYXL 10 to 46. And this is the guy's #1 guitar. This is the one he loves. And apparently for the price, they're really good guitars. So if you see one and you like Strats, it might be worth your while to pick one up, or at least try it out. Oh, party on, Garth. So here we are at the healing bench. I got it strung up, tuned to pitch, the old strings. And we're going to check the relief. And he's saying he likes the way this is pretty close to set up, and I can see why. It's dead on. And we'll check the action at the nut. And it is really nice too. Perfect. That's good news. And the nut looks like it's cut pretty good. So, Next thing to do is let's get some cleaning done. To take the back plate off to get the strings out, he's got this thing decked. So it's got all 5 springs on it and clamped right in. And he's got the bridge decked, which is how he likes it. So we'll continue on. I'm just getting these pick scratches out of the fretboard. I'm just taking a razor blade and just gently, don't want to change anything, I just want to get the scratches out. So I'm using this like a card scraper. And just gently take those out. Don't want to change anything, just take a couple of thous of the ragged edge off of it. Just even it out a little bit. A little bit of patience and time. Like I said, I don't want to change the radius of the fingerboard or put any gouges or anything in. I just want to get those hard edges out of there a little bit. Make it look pretty. And as you can see, I'm not taking very much. Come on, focus. Focus. Not going to, eh? But I'm barely taking anything off of there. Just going to even out the color a little bit to get it to all blend in. Alright, the camera's in my way. I've got to move it. Alright, got a bit of it out. I'll never get it all out without doing some alterations to it, and I don't want to do that. I've got these little pieces of foam from some packing material. And a little bit of 400 grit. And I'll just try to level that out a little bit. I can see little flakes of, little sparkly pieces of metal in there from the pick hitting the fret. I've got some pickups taped off to stop that from happening. I noticed there was some sparkly bits on the pickups too, and that's not good, and hopefully the tape will pull that off when it comes off. A little bit of 400 grit, and we'll just get this blended a little bit. Won't get the divots out of it, but I'll blend it in enough that it looks good. And again, it's just time and patience. Just slowly work at it. Don't want to go too far at a time. You want to fix things, not mess them up. Okay, lots more sanding to do. We got that, most of that evened up in color. I can still feel it a little bit, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on it and mess it up. Don't want to, like I said, don't want to change the radius or anything. Started doing a little bit on here. So we're going to start taping off the frets, and I figured it would be a good time to show you that before you start taping off the frets, this is a bad angle for me, but probably better for you, if you put a strip down either side, and then when you get the stuff between the frets, when time comes to take it off, it peels off a little bit easier. So when I put that one on, and then I pull this tape off, it makes it come off easier. So we'll get her taped up and start polishing frets. So when your frets get closer together than your tape, plastic cutting board, and take off a length. And we'll make some narrower tape. And it doesn't mess up the tape too much because the plastic cutting board, it doesn't stick too well to it. Well, it's time for the fun and exciting part. Sanding. That's fret number 1 right there. And so we're going to start with 400 grit. Time for repetitiveness and hangnails. Again, just try to work around the camera here. Just gotta get to the side. It's hard to capture this on camera. I noticed my last video, it really doesn't show how I'm putting more pressure on the side of the fret than I am onto the top of it. Now you can, if you want, mark the tops of these frets with a marker. After you've done it a couple of hundred times, you kind of get a feel for it. You can see those dings are coming out quite nicely. I kind of get my fingernail hooked on over there to get the pressure on the sandpaper where I want it. And just work from each side until we get that nice crown on there. Come over and get rid of those little dings. The 400 grit is the longest stage because you're taking off the most material to get rid of the dings. After you got that beat, it's pretty easy. You can see those disappearing now. I'm still working on 400 grit, but they're almost gone, and you can see right here and here, well, maybe you can't, but here and here there's still a little bit, and they're right in the middle, so we're doing okay there. But every once in a while you have to stop and get a new piece of tape on there because just the nature of the method. You just got to add a little bit now and then to keep the fretboard protected. It's a lot of zoom there. Not exactly the best centered picture, but you get the idea. We got all the frets shined up. And they're looking really nice. So, now on to a little bit of cleaning. Let's zoom out here. We've got the wood clean now. Another item I gotta do, and that's get all the guck out of there. If I can hold you steady enough, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. So I think that's all got to come apart and get cleaned up also. But onto a bit of cleaning first. Well, there's always a few extra dollars of free stuff that goes into every job, and this is it on this one. Got all the lint and everything taken out of the bridge, and the little set screws were kind of cattywampus. Weren't in the right positions, and they were pretty stiff. So we're going to got them all a little bit cleaned up, and we'll give them a little bit of a bath. Make sure everything works nice and smooth, and a little bit of rust preventative. Just give everything a couple of drops here. And just soak them down a bit, and we'll wipe off the excess later. No sense doing half of a job. Got it apart this far. Might as well keep it nice and maintained. And we'll let that sit for a few minutes and give her a wipe off, and they should work much better. Well, the result of several hours work. Everything's all nice and cleaned up and polished and oiled. Now to get some strings on it and get everything all set up. So we're putting Diario 10-46 NYXLs on here. Ooh, we got a sticker! So we'll show you a little bit of a trick here. Get the E string. So my E string has to go on this post here. So if I go 2 posts past it and put a kink in it, and then feed it through, the first wrap over top, that should pretty much give us 1 over top and 2 on the bottom. And that pinches the string and locks it. No knots, no fuss, no muss, easy to rechange. Oh, and there's one more trick I gotta show you. Mechanical pencil, drafting pencil, 0.5 lead. And before we do anything here, I'm just get a little bit of graphite put in those slots. And that should lubricate everything up. Nice dry lubricant. And that'll let the string roll nice and smoothly through the nut slots. Alrighty. Once we get that tuned up, this will focus. It ain't gonna do it, is it? You can see how the string traps itself and gives us the proper amount of winds. So here we go. It's all finished up, cleaned, set up, and ready to play. You can see the finish repair didn't come out too bad. I couldn't get all the dents out of it, but I got it blended in a little bit nicely. And the fretboard's looking much better. You remember in this area that was all messed up. And what did I do? Oh, I cleaned some of the corrosion. He is having some noise problems with the input jack. So let's see what happens here. Oh, I don't know if you can tell, I'm using Fender Fuse on a GDEC 15. And I just put a clean black face on there with a little bit of reverb. A bit loud. Those are mighty powerful pickups. That's the neck and the neck in the middle together. And the middle by itself. Bridge in middle. And the bridge. Yeah, it's a nice guitar. Alright, ready to go back to its papa. And that is the Wayne's World Strat. Refinished with a tortoiseshell pickguard and Seymour Duncan hot rails. And no more crackling. Another successful job. Take care and thanks for dropping by.